Hey YouTubers, and welcome back. I'm Tony the Technician, and today we're going to be going into Tool Talk episode 14. Let's say 14. We're going to be talking about my pick sets, more specifically the Gearwrench and Tekton, but I am going to be including a couple others that I have here so we can kind of cover the whole spectrum of quality and price range. So I really hope you guys enjoy. If you guys have any questions on any of these items that I may forget to mention, please feel free to comment down below. Also keep in mind that if you aren't interested in any of these that I'm going to share with you today, I do a lot of Amazon tool reviews in which I have included a few sets of pick sets that I think you guys might be interested in if you're not interested in these. So make sure also, if you are interested in these, all of these pick sets plus many others will be linked down in the description underneath the tools and tools continued link. So I really hope you guys enjoy. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Let's get into this. So what we have here is the Gearwrench pick set, hook and pick set, a snap-on, the Tekton hook and pick set, and one of the available options from Harbor Freight. So we're going to go over these. I'll share the pricing with you, my thoughts on them, and then I'll also keep in mind that some other brands will be linked down in the description for you guys as well. I'm trying to get the lighting right. Give me, if you guys follow the channel, this is all brand new equipment. So I'm trying to get the lighting right, and I really hope you guys enjoy the new content. Keep in mind, there's a little bit of glare out here. I'm going to be getting a mat for this bench, so there's no glare or anything like that. So hopefully it improves the video quality there. But getting into the actual tools themselves, starting with the Gearwrench, this is basically the first actual pick set that I got. The first ones that I picked up were the Harbor Freight ones, and truthfully, I actually really enjoyed these while I used them. I probably had these maybe 3 or 4 months before I actually picked up the Gearwrench set. This set right here, it's just a 2-piece set, but it's actually 4 different picks. This set ran $3. So, I mean, it doesn't get much more affordable than that, except for the one that you get with the orange handles. I believe that's like $1 to $3 at Harbor Freight, if I remember correctly. It's got a red anodized center section, and then you have your straight pick. And I mean, there's nothing great about them. I mean, they're a little bit bent up here. The taper starts way back here and like just continues the same taper all the way through. And they're definitely not the strongest, but you do actually have out of all of these, this is the second thickest pick as far as the shaft back here before it starts to taper. And then on the other end of this pick, you have your 90-degree pick, and you can tell there it is bent upwards a little bit. It does have a little bit of a awkward angle to it now, but overall they held up well. And sometimes it's nice being able to go from one pick and just being able to turn it around and have another pick. It's not always preferred, but it is nice every once in a while, just depending on what you're working on. And then this one I didn't really use. I definitely don't use, I don't know if I've ever really used this pick in my lifetime. It's just the double bend. I know there's a specific name for it, but I don't really use that. I'll use a hook every once in a while, but not very often. So this pick hardly ever got any use, but this one did get some decent use and it held up well. So for $3, can't really complain. But getting back, after I purchased those, about 3 or 4 months later, I picked up the Gearwrench set. I really liked the color design, and I had used a lot of Gearwrench tools, and I was happy with them. And I liked some of the organizers that these Gearwrench tools came in. Some of them were foam, some of them were this plastic, some were extremely thin plastic, some were decent like this one. I mean, this one does have a tear in it, but it's about 6 years old, and I mean, I've just left it in the same spot in my toolbox the entire time because there's no need to move it around. So it has actually held up really well. The only damage done to it is that small rip in the front, and sometimes when I put these picks back, like this one, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'll stab the actual plastic with the pick. No big deal. It's held up actually really well. Now, the pricing on this set, it used to be a lot more affordable. it is not anymore because this is the old style. They now have their new Gearwrench handle design that they've basically put on everything, which is the black and like goldish yellow. So they brought the prices up on a lot of the old version stuff and released a lot of the new version stuff, which are the same tools but with the new handle colors and slightly different design on the handle. But the new version runs $27 to $35 just depending on when you pick it up. This set, which was like, I want to say I picked it up for around $32, $32 to $38, I can't remember for sure, is now running $40 to $70. A lot of the times you'll see it at like $69, which is absolutely ridiculous. So if you are interested in this set and you don't care about money, and you prefer this one, I mean, it's there for like $70, but if you're interested in this pick set and you want to save some money, definitely get the new version. They've basically just changed the handle design. Here you can see it says Gearwrench. Obviously that's upside down. And then you have basically some slots here for some grip. And it's kind of like a tri-lobe design. It's really hard to see. It's a very, very subtle tri-lobe design. But it is comfortable. The black portion is like a rubberized portion and the red is plastic. But overall, a comfortable handle design. Not the best, but still comfortable. And it being a pick set, I'm not looking for like a lot of turning torque or anything like that. So it's a nice comfortable handle and decent size. And with this set, I'll just quickly show you. As far as the smaller ones, you get basically a 130-degree hook here. Then you have your straight pick, your 90-degree pick, which also this one does have a little bit of an upward bend to it. And then you have, once again, what I call the double bend. Once again, one that I don't use. And then you have your three larger ones. So once again, I use these, you know, for O-rings. If I'm not reusing that O-ring, I'll use a pick just because I don't care about damaging it. But if I do plan on reusing an O-ring for whatever reason, I do have an O-ring removal toolkit as well, which is just basically flat picks so you don't damage them or you're less likely to damage them. And then these larger ones, you just have a large straight. Then you have kind of like a double bend 90. And then you have a large hook. This is the one that I use most out of the large ones. I'll use the straight pick and the 90-degree pick as far as the small ones pretty dang often. And then as far as the large ones, this is the one I use most. I use this a lot for radiator hoses or heater core hoses, things like that, because it allows you to get down inside that hose and it's got enough length here to actually, you know, the thermostat housing or the radiator, the actual portion that the hose slides over is actually fairly long, and sometimes that corrosion and stuff from water and the mineral buildup and rust can actually get pretty far underneath that hose. So having some length here actually allows you to kind of fish into that hose and work your way around the hose to break all that mineral buildup and stuff away and help you pry that hose off. So that's what I primarily use that one for. So overall, I really enjoyed this Gearwrench kit, especially for the price that I picked it up at. If you ever see this set around the $35 price range, it's a definite buy. Unless you don't care for this handle design, they do have the new handle design, which is always consistently around that $27 to $35 price range. Then next up, we have the Tekton set. So this set is a 5-piece set and they're all the same size. This is everything Tekton has available. Keep in mind that Gearwrench, I do believe they just do the smaller pick sets as well and different lengths as well. This is just the one that I have. This set I've probably had 6 months, basically ever since they came out, 6 months to a year, I'm not sure. And you have a straight pick. You have a 45-degree pick. It's just got a small 45-degree bend right there, which is actually kind of nice. You don't have an extremely long tip or anything. It's just real nice for getting around little obstructions. Then you have your 90-degree. And then you have two hooks, which is a 90 and 130-degree. Kind of see here, this bottom one just bends 90. You just kind of have a loop outward. And then this one comes back around to 130 degrees. So pretty nice. Once again, I'll use hook picks every once in a while, but not a whole lot. My primary ones are once again the straight and 90 degree because they're the most common and just most handy. But ever since I got this, I have actually really enjoyed this like small 45 degree bend pick. This thing has been really handy. The coating on it, the black coating, it's black phosphate if I remember correctly. I can't remember, but it doesn't chip or anything like that. So it is really nice. And if you look really closely, I'm not sure if the camera will be able to pick it up. You can see right around here, and it's like this on all of the picks. It's almost, I don't know if it's got a heat treatment on the tip that's different from the rest of the shaft, or if it's just that they've polished from a certain point forward. But you can tell there's the tip is shinier, if you want to put it that way. Or the shaft has more of a grayish tint to it. I don't know how well the camera will pick that up because it's very hard to see. Maybe a little bit easier to pick up on this. You can kind of see right there. It is basically, I don't know if there's a heat treatment process just for the tip of these picks, or if it's just that they kind of polished up the tips on each one of these. But it also has a taper right at the end, which brings you to your tip. It's not like this where the taper starts all the way back here and just consistently moves forward. The taper is just right up there. It makes for a really good pick set. Just kind of looking at these, you can definitely tell the size difference. Gearwrench being on the bottom, Tekton being on the top. You can definitely see both are very fine picks, but you can tell that the Tekton has some more meat to them, a little bit more strength. There's less flex to the Tekton set for sure. A little bit more flex. But once again, I'm not very rough on my picks. Not usually doing anything super aggressive with them or anything like that. So the Tekton set is fantastic, especially since it comes in at $20 and it's made in the USA. It has the four-sided hard handle design. I absolutely love this handle design. It's just a classic handle design that's very comfortable, and it's just the right size for these picks. They've done a really good job when designing these USA made picks and screwdrivers. I really like that handle design. So $3, $27 to $70 depending on which one you get, new or old. $20 China or Taiwan, I'm not 100% sure, USA and USA. So I picked this up when I was going to college. I got a student discount on Matco tools, Snap-on tools, and I had already had the Matco Ullman, I think it was, long picks, which were great, slim design, everything like that. But I wanted to try out a Snap-on. I didn't feel like paying this. Well, it was originally like $70. But I had a discount for around, I don't know, $48 or $50. But I just wanted to try one out, so I picked this one and a straight one up. I lost the straight one like 2-3 years ago. I've had this one for roughly 7 years. It's held up great. And then once I started working at my next job where all my tools were supplied to me, I basically brought these home, or this one home, since I lost my straight pick. But it's been great. Once again, here, the taper is just basically at the bend. And see that it's held up very well. The handle has even held up well. I've had some of the Snap-on handles like this where the rubber will start to wear away, but once again, picks don't really get quite the abuse that say a screwdriver or a ratchet or anything has or gets. But overall, it's held up very well. There's the part number for that one. And for the long ones, it's going to run $17 each without a discount. $17 to $20, I believe, depending on when you purchase it. And then you can get sets of various different sizes for $65 to $80. So for a Snap-on pick set, it's really not priced all that terribly, especially when you compare the Snap-on pick set to what you would pay for this, since they jacked the price up on this since they released the new version. But once again, with this set, you're getting you know, hose removal picks, some larger picks, and 4 picks, where basically the $65 to $80, you're getting a 4 or 5 piece set of these long or short. They have various different ones. Hopefully I've posted up some pictures for you guys to see of some of the different options. And then also keep in mind that if you don't like anything here, I have went over other pick options in the past, so they will also be linked down in the description underneath the tools, and tools continue to link along with all of these. But I prefer the Tekton over all of them, unless I'm doing radiator hoses, then I go to this. Before I had the Tekton, this was my go-to set, and it held up really well. The snap-on is absolutely fantastic, but I don't find myself using long picks all that often anymore. It's just not something, it's not like my go-to. When I go to a pick, I kind of like them shorter, so I have more control and more precise movements with them. That's just a personal preference. And then these have pros and cons. It's extremely cheap, but you basically have some decent length if you need it, but you can really choke up on these and work with them, and they're dual-sided, so that can be handy, but then again, it can also be a drawback of having to worry about both ends. So it's really personal preference, but I think we've covered a wide range, basically from $3, $20, $30 to $70, and $20 each, or $80 for a whole set. Basically from the cheapest China that you can go to some of the best USA made stuff you can get. So a wide range, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you guys have any questions that I didn't mention, any information that you guys would like to know, please drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer that for you. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. See you guys next time.